I've been powerlifting for 11 years, competing for 10, and closed in on a 2,000 pound total. I've also been coaching people for 7 years, a few hundred people over that time. I've learned a lot, and there are many mistakes I made that held back my progress. So here are the things I wish I knew sooner, and by telling you, I hope it helps you avoid making them hold you back as well. The first tip, building muscle and gaining weight is key. Most powerlifters should be trained like bodybuilders. The vast majority of strength gains are just bigger muscles. Prime mover muscle size accounts for the majority of strength in powerlifters. Way too many lifters are afraid to gain weight, either not wanting to lose leanness or committing themselves to a certain weight class way too early in their careers. It holds them back. I did this myself, stayed in the 93 kilo weight class for years, spinning my wheels, wanting to be competitive as a junior, and not thinking I had time to fill out the next weight class before becoming an open lifter. I was wrong. You don't need to go full on dreamer bulk and get fat, but slowly gain weight and muscle over time. Now, my next tip, what you do outside the gym matters just as much, if not more, than what you do in the gym. You can have the perfect program and lift as hard as you want. It doesn't matter if your diet is awful. You need to get your protein and calories first and foremost, but also just a basic healthy diet too. Get your veggies, kids. And there's sleep as well. Consistent sleep, high quality with the help of good sleep hygiene. These will make the biggest differences in your recovery. Now, another thing that's often overlooked for lifting is stress management. This has a massive effect on your recovery. There's research showing that high-stress individuals took twice as long to recover after doing a leg workout, for example. While I don't take any numbers from one study too literally, it does show stress affects things. And not to mention just general quality of life. You don't have to settle for being unhappy. I know people talk about the gym being their therapy, but it's not a replacement for real therapy at all. You cannot just lift weights and make it go away. There's been people I know, people I coach, and even myself at times where mental stress is just hurting results. It can be caused by many things, including relationships, people worrying about questions like, why do I always feel like I'm not good enough? Or should I settle for less than what I want? It's a sign of strength, not weakness, to talk through your concerns with relationships of many kinds with somebody trained to help. My paid partner, BetterHelp, will connect you with the right therapist who they ensure is well qualified. Complete a quick questionnaire and switch at any time for no cost. Their customer support team is there to help with any questions. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5-star rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform you can trust. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/mattvena and get 10% off of your first month of therapy. Thank you to my paid partner, BetterHelp. Now, my next tip is learning how to dissect good and bad information. If I say it, it's always right, of course. Okay, real talk, a lot of people buy into somebody saying something really definitively or because they're big or strong or popular, but these people, except me of course, can be wrong. Even if they're generally good sources of information, they can be wrong at times, so take everything you hear with a grain of salt, and focus on people who aren't too emotional with their arguments, base it on good evidence, and don't speak too definitively, accepting some uncertainty. Now, my next tip, avoiding injuries is key. Most of my wasted time, i.e. time I wasn't making progress, was when dealing with injuries. I've seen so many lifters just quit because injuries completely throw them off track. So how do you avoid that? Well, one is simply listening to your body. But the most important thing is injuries are going to happen, yet most people do not go as light as they need to rehab the injury. Yes, training through light pain can be okay, or even better, link to research on that below, but your symptoms should be trending better over time. Don't be the type of person whose ego is too big to go light enough to let it heal properly and just drags out the injury for months. It's going to save you a lot of time in the long term, even though it's going to suck in the short term. Now, my next tip, learn to push your limits. I was skinny, weak, unathletic when I started, but I had such a big ego that I believed I could become one of the strongest people in the world. And that mindset really helped me because I didn't put a glass ceiling on myself. I mentioned one of my favorite studies linked below, showing how telling people they had good or bad genetics, whether they actually did or not, affected their workout results more than their actual genetics. The point being, mindset will absolutely affect your results. So have big goals. Even if you fall short, you should still make good progress. Say I want to put 100 pounds on my squat in 6 months. If you still put 80 pounds on your squat in that time, you failed, but you still made great progress. And my last tip, which you shouldn't think needs to be said, but in this day and age you do, dedication and effort matters the most. You see so many people online nowadays talk about the absolute most optimal way for every little tiny detail, and I think there's a time and place for that. Yeah, you can optimize little details to get those little extra boosts, but don't major in the minors. Focus on good effort and just buy into your program first. You need to get the basics down before you start splitting hairs over these minor, tiny details. So that's basically it, guys. The biggest mistakes that held back my progress as a lifter and how I'd recommend you to avoid them. See the pinned comment in the description to contact me for coaching and programs, some promotional links, and link to all claims made. Please like, comment more questions down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. And once again, thanks for watching.